All right, ladies and gentlemen, now uh, we are from the sixth group. Let me introduce first our member group. My name is Martin Polajamasi. I am as first presenter, and then the second presenter is Yarlin Hareva. The third presenter is Winche Warubu, and the last presenter is Yestanius Warubu. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now we will explain or discuss about what is context clue. First, we must to know what is definition of context clue. Uh, Context clue are elements of grammatical and visual composition that suggest meaning. So, context clue here is elements, yeah, elements of grammatical. So this is part of grammatical and visual composition, yeah, visual composition that suggests a meaning. In reading, context clue is a form of information. Uh, Context clue here is referred to the part, yeah. uh, it is a form of information such as definition, synonym, antonym, or example. So this is when we found definition, synonym, antonym, or example in one text that we read. This is the form of information. So the form of information that we read is context. It is part of context clue, and that is appear near a word or phrase and offer direct or indirect suggestion about its meaning. So direct or indirect as well. This is suggest about one meaning. And then let's continue with types of context clue. Here we have prepared many or some types of context clue. For the first is definition or restatement. What is definition or restatement in context clue? This is a the definition or restatement clue is the most straightforward hint you will ever get. It defines the precise meaning of a vocabulary word in the sentence itself, usually immediately or closely following the vocabulary word. Yeah. Let me give you example. Jack's duplicate, crafty, dishonesty. This is enable him to steal his coworkers' pension by funneling their money into an offshore account. And now let me continue the second types of context clue. That is synonyms. Yeah. Synonym is a kind of context clue that that has meaning as equally that's containing synonym or uh, use use it to as similar words and phrases to a vocabulary word to help give that word meaning. So synonyms are equally easy to spot. uh, Sentences containing synonyms use similar words and phrases to a vocabulary word to help give that word meaning. And then sometimes synonyms are used to paint a clearer picture. Yeah, this is to paint a clearer picture, and sometimes they are used for emphasis. Yeah. So for example, yeah, let me give example that the baseball coach punished the teams. Yeah, Dupli- duplicity or deceitfulness after they admitted to using steroids to boost their betting average. So this is the example by synonyms. The third types of context clue. What is the third types of context clue. This is about antonyms, or we know that as opposite. Yeah, antonym. Antonym is similar with opposite. Yeah. What is antonyms? Yeah, antonyms here are refers of synonym. Yeah, but have the same effect. They use other words. Yeah, they use other words. This time opposite. Yeah, this time opposite. Yeah. So when we know in general that antonyms is something that opposite with the one word. For example, like white or what is the antonym of white? It is black. So that is opposite. Uh, and then to this is to define unknown vocabulary words. Yeah, it is to define unknown vocabulary words. So when we do not understand one word, so we can we can see the antonym of the words, so we can understand what is the words by the antonym of the words. And then antonym shows star inequalities and apply contrast to give meaning. So that what is the example of the types of antonym and opposites? For example, I give you example. It was your duplicity. Yeah, it was your duplicity that caused me to break up with you. What are the duplicated? What are the antonyms? Yeah, what are the antonym by the sentence is, had you been honest? Yeah, had you been honest, I wouldn't have failed in it. This is um, the about antonyms and opposite types by context clue. And then the next types is uh, types example or explanation. Yeah, this is about types of context clue. Yeah, this type is uh, use examples, yeah, to help the reader infer the meaning. The example here may uh, will enable someone to invert the meaning of a vocabulary word. So, by the example, someone can describe a meaning of a vocabulary word with easier. And then, just like in any other situation, example can helpful illustration as context clue. So that with example, uh, it is can helpful illustration of as context clue. Yeah, when we use context clue, the one example of context clue is examples, and this is illustrated. And then what is example of examples or explanation of the types context clue. All right. For the example, his duplicity involve lowering his employees' salaries, increasing their stock options, and then stealing the money he saved by doing so. So that this is the example of examples or explanation, the types of context clue. And then now con and uh, and then uh, the second I mean the next explanation will continue by the second presenter, and that's all. Thank you.
Alright everyone, now I will like continue explain to you the material about the characteristic of context clue. So in our slide, the characteristic of context clue has 5 points. The first is context clue are usually located near the unfamiliar word they are defining or providing information about. They may appear in the same sentence or paragraph as the unfamiliar word. So the meaning is the first point. The located of context clue usually the unfamiliar word and give the clue to reader, and the reader can be comprehend, can understanding about the meaning of the text or the meaning of the paragraph. So the second is context clue can take many forms such as synonyms, antonyms, definitions, examples, or explanation. So the meaning in the second point, the context clue give approach to reader, and the reader can better understanding, can better comprehend the meaning of the text like synonym, antonym, definition, example, or explanation. So the next point, the third point is context clue are relevant to the meaning of the unfamiliar word and provide information that helps the reader understanding it. So the context clue relevant to the meaning of the unfamiliar word and uh, give helps the reader to understanding about the text. And the four points is about context clue are important for readers to understanding the meaning of an unfamiliar word, especially when a dictionary or other resources is not available. So the meaning is make it easy for the reader to be able to understanding to the text if there are words that are not understood, so that the reader can understand the meaning of the text. And the last point or the 5 points is context clue must be effective in providing enough information to help the reader understand the unfamiliar word. They must be clear and concise. So the context clue give the enough information, and the reader can help the understanding about the text and can understanding uh, unfamiliar words in the text. So the characteristic of context clue, we can say or we can conclude uh, based on the point, the characteristic, the context clue must give the clue or give the approach to the reader, and the reader can understanding about the text, about the meaning of the text. So that's all my explanation, and continue by the third presenter.
Uh, so now I continue about the function of context clue. So there are four the function of context clue that we find. The first is to help readers understand the meaning of unfamiliar words in a text. So of course this is like I said just now, the context clue give information about unfamiliar words. So that it can help the readers to know what the meaning of unfamiliar words. The next provide hints on information about the meaning of a word by using the words, phrases, and sentence surrounding it. So context clue can using words, phrases, and sentence to 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 show what the meaning or what the meaning of unfamiliar words. And the third, readers can infer the meaning of a word without having to consult a dictionary and other resources. Is it true? Because like I say just now, the context clue can give information, so readers can know information without dictionary or other resource about unfamiliar words. So the last, help readers analyze a text and make connections between words and ideas. So if readers can know what the meaning of unfamiliar words, readers can analyze or can create new ideas about the meaning of unfamiliar words. So that's all my explanation. I hope you can understand.
Well everyone, now I continue to explain our material. It's about context clue. My topic is about 7 strategies for using context clues in reading. Well, here the 7 strategies I will explain one by one. The first is word parts. Well, here I will read for us what the reader do in word parts. Reader can use their knowledge of prefixes, suffixes, and roots to understand the meaning of unfamiliar words. Well, I will give you one example. When we use the word un in English mean not. When we add with the happy letter, so it can be unhappy. So the meaning from unhappy is not happy. Well, it's the explanation by the word parts. We move to the second, it's definition or explanation. Let me read for us. Sometimes a definition or explanation of an unfamiliar words is given in the text. This can help readers understand the meaning of the words. So here, this means sometimes in the text we found the foreign word or we found the unfamiliar words. So from the text they give to us the meaning. So it can help the readers to comprehend what the text mean. Well, the next is synonym. Synonym here is the word that have the same meaning. Example, beautiful have the same meaning with the pretty. Well, the next is example. This example is very useful for us. Why? Because from the example they can give for us the illustration that make us easy to understand the text. And the next, antonym or contrast. Antonym or contrast is the word that has the opposite meaning. Example here is bad. Opposite of bad is good. Like that. The next is analogy. An analogy is a comparison between two things that are similar in some way. So reader can use this to understand the unfamiliar words from the text. The last is an appositive. An appositive is a noun or noun phrase that renames or explains another nouns in a sentence. Well, that's all my explanation and thank you.